Mtazamaji wangu, ni wakati mwingine mwafaka na kukaribisha kwenye mtandao wako nambari 1, darubini ya siasa hapa Double Vision TV. Mpenzi mtazamaji, leo nilikuwa natazama kuna interview fulani aliweza kufanyiwa mbunge wa Githunguri ambaye pia anafahamika kama Gathoni Wamuchomba. Alikuwa anazungumzia masuala ya serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, na pia kuna baadhi ya masuala ambayo aliweza kuyaweka wazi na kusema kwamba wale wabunge ambao ni wachanga wako pale kwenye bunge wameweza kujiunga pamoja ili waweze kuzungumzia ama ili waweze kupeleka agenda ya Wakenya mbele. Nataka nikufahamishe kwamba Gathoni Wamuchomba kwa mara mingi amewahi onekana kuwa ni mkosoaji wa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ama serikali ya UDA. Kumbuka kwamba Gathoni Wamuchomba aliweza kuchaguliwa kwa tikiti ya chama cha UDA, lakini kwa upande fulani hajaweza kukubaliana na uongozi wa UDA, na tumemuona mara mingi sana akiweza kutofautiana hadharani na Rais William Ruto pamoja na uongozi mzima wa UDA. Na pia mpenzi mtazamaji, tumewahi kuona viongozi wa UDA wakiweza kumrushia maneno Gathoni Wamuchomba na kusema kwamba anatumiwa na chama cha Jubilee ama ile fraction ambayo ilikuwa inaongozwa na Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Na kuna baadhi tu, nafikiri kuna mbunge fulani, si nimemsahau jina kidogo, aliweza kuzungumza wakati fulani na akasema ya kwamba Gathoni Wamuchomba anamfanyia Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta kazi. Lakini jambo ambalo Wakenya walikuja kuligundua ni kwamba Gathoni Wamuchomba alikuwa anazungumza kwa niaba ya Wakenya milioni 40 ama milioni 50 ambao walikuwa wanaona kwamba serikali ya Kenya Kwanza inawafinya. Nataka nikuwekee interview hiyo uweze kuitazama, manake interview hiyo iliweza kufanywa na kituo fulani hapa nchini Kenya. Lakini kabla nikupeleke pale, mpenzi mtazamaji, iwapo unajiunga na sisi kwa mara ya kwanza, na kuomba uweze kubonyeza alama ya subscribe, na ukifanya hivyo mpenzi mtazamaji, utakuwa umeisupport channel hii kwa kiwango kikubwa sana. Mimi ni Don Rogers.
We just decided that we need to give a new paradigm shift in the way we've been debating and the way we've been approaching issues, specifically issues that require our contribution and our input at the National Assembly platform. And so we realized that Parliament of Kenya, currently the 13th Parliament, we have very many new members of Parliament who just came in and were absorbed into a certain way of thinking, a certain way of doing things. And somehow they were diverted from their core mandate, which is to represent, to advocate, to lobby, and to speak for the interest of the people who elect you as a member of Parliament. So we realized that this issue of party and partyism, patronage of parties, has actually taken the center stage, and Wanjiku is nowhere in consideration when it comes to the way we are debating and the way we are pushing policies and bills at the National Assembly platform. So we came together, people who think like they have their conscience on, in terms of, are we doing the right thing? Are we speaking facts? Are we debating the way we are supposed to be debating? And we realize that there is a gap that we need to fill. And because, like you know, most parties are patronized by party leaders, and every party leader has his own way of doing things and has issues that they need put across. We realize that they are over-patronizing. And over-patronizing means they are taking away the core duty of members of Parliament. And so we decided this is a time to undo the partyism cloth. It's time to shed off the overcoat, the political party overcloth. And once we are on that platform, that is the National Assembly platform, we perform our duty as members of Parliament. So we connected, we networked. Those MPs that feel that that's the way to go, we decided let's just come together. So we came together, members of Parliament from all manner of parties. Some of them are even independent members of Parliament, others are in the ruling coalition, others are in the opposition, and we came together as colleagues, and we decided Wanjiku of Mathare and Wanjiku of Githunguri are actually going through the same thing. It doesn't matter whether Wanjiko of Mathare and Wanjiko of Githunguri are represented by different parties, or rather their members of parliament are, sponsored by different parties. But the issues Wanjiko of Githunguri and Wanjiko of Mathare and Wanjiko of Likoni is going through are the same. So we decided, let's come together. And what we did is that we realized that the older generation of members of parliament, most of them, I'm not saying all of them, but most of them still have that issue of, I can't be seen with Wamuchomba because Wamuchomba is from KK and I am from, for example, Azimio. And that party patronism is what actually is enslaving us. So we decided those that feel they are energetic enough and they are ready to face the political party wrath, let's do it. I think you can already see the difference. I mean, we have a voice. We can be able to stand and say, these are issues that are affecting Kenyans. These are issues we feel that they need to be addressed. And we've done like 2 pressers now. I mean, it has been 3 weeks of serious political energy and serious political information dissemination. Right. I think the message is, like you put it, the message that we are giving out has got nothing to do with political parties. It has got something to do with what is ailing Wanjiku, what is agonizing us. What are the issues that are pressing us as Kenyans, irrespective of our political parties? For heaven's sake, Latif, when you sit here and broadcast, you don't broadcast because you are from Kenya Kwanza or you are from Azimio, but you talk issues. When you're speaking issues, fertilizer, you're not speaking because you apparently you're leaning towards any political divide. So these issues are issues that are Wanjiko based. They are not political party based. And there is nowhere we are referring to political parties. And when we came together as members of parliament, we already knew that one of our envisaged challenge would be the political party antagonism. And we are ready for that because, of course, Wanjiko who believe in me doesn't care which political party really sponsored me in parliament. Wanjiko that believe in me believe that I am a woman who feels the pain of a woman who live in Kenya, operates in Kenya, and rears her children in Kenya. And therefore it is my duty as a woman leader to actually stand in the gap, irrespective of my political party. As young people, that we are trying to serve another recipe of politics. We are trying to tell people, look here, political processes are politicians' agenda. All right? But once we finish with the political processes and we get into a parliament that has a life of 5 years, within those 5 years, we should put aside the political processes and dissect issues and deal with issues that really interfere with our livelihoods. That is the kind of recipe that we are trying to serve, a new political recipe, a new paradigm change with the way we do politics. I think we're already out of the shackles because we have created a platform where we can actually voice matters Wanjiko on our own. We are coming up together. We are holding pressers and actually even have a very serious backup, technical backup. People who have volunteered to actually come and give us technical support. People who are telling us, we love the way you're dissecting issues. Would love to support you on this technical aspect of what you're saying. For example, last week we had a very serious sitting with the striking doctors. And we had to listen to their in-house technical issues. Those issues that don't come out to you, and they don't have time even to express them to you because they are very technical. When else should we get this kind of a forum if we don't do what we are doing? Now, for me, I understand why doctors are striking better than most of you, because I've had an opportunity to listen to the technical and the in-depth issues that are affecting doctors. And therefore, when I say that Nakumicha must be pushed to the wall, when I say Kenya Kwanza government must be made liable for what is happening right now in our hospitals, affecting members of public who cannot afford to access medical care from the private sector. I know what I'm talking about. So I think this is a very good platform for us, and I think it's a breathe out for Kenyans. Finally, there is a group of people who are speaking as it is. When we came out and said, there is a substandard fertilizer, Kenyans were shocked. Because this thing has been going on for a long time. This fertilizer did not just appear last week, but one. Now that this is a voice that is coming from elected members of parliament, people who have a credible voice, a credible voice that is supported by their mandates as members of parliament, then you expect that the issues raised are actually going to end up on the floor of the House, either as a debate, either as an amendment of a policy or amendment of a law. For example, I'm sure you heard very clearly the team, what I'm calling the ground team, say that we are going to deal with matters doctor strike in parliament. Definitely we will have to ask for an opportunity to debate matters doctor strike in parliament. And that will give an opportunity to that member of parliament who probably is not a team ground, but the matter has been brought up for debate. Will you not debate? Because the matter is in the floor of the House, whether you are Kenya Kwanza or not, you will debate. So when we debate, what do we expect? We expect some directives from the Speaker. We expect Parliament to give direction on the way forward. We expect a solution from Parliament. And most of the solutions that we deliberate on the floor of the House become effective. Most of them. I think the only place where solutions are generated instantly or within maybe the shortest time possible, it is on the floor of the House. Because definitely after a debate, the Speaker must rule. And his direction is final. Yeah. So I think the fact that the members of parliament are now picking up these issues, for example, the issue of substandard subsidized fertilizer, the fake fertilizer, the dubious fertilizer, the issue must come to the floor of the House. We must debate and ask ourselves, who is it to blame? Last night I saw some news flashing that some officials of Kenya Bureau of Standards have been kind of interdicted or something of the sort. But I sat and wondered, so what? First of all, we didn't even get the names of those we were told that they were interdicted. How sure are we? What did they do? So the errors of commission and omission that were done and were committed must be answerable. And therefore, that is why this team is very important, because now we are able to flag out issues that Wanjiko is talking about, take them to the National Assembly, insist and fight out until we get a hearing. Essentially, Parliament should be independent. Essentially, Parliament should have its own calendar of events. Essentially, Parliament actually gives the direction on what and how the president should behave. Whether he said it or not, I think Parliament has a duty to debate matters doctor strike.
Right.
Parliament has a duty to listen to the doctors. Should they present any petition to Parliament, we have a duty to receive that petition and do what doctors are saying, because they are also voters. They have their rights, and we must respect their rights. I think you're wrong when you say that at the committee stage, once matters are delegated to the committee, issues die. By the way, that's when issues actually come alive. Because at the committee platforms or sessions, that's when we are able to actually dissect matters with a lot of, in depth.
Yes.
Because you can't be able to discuss and debate and examine a matter on the floor of the House. Because you understand we are normally given 2 minutes, 5 minutes maximum for you to debate.
Yes.
But at the committee level, that's when you are able to actually discuss issues, get into the technical aspect of the issue, and get a clear direction. So, and that is the intention of this team ground. Our work is to make sure that we raise pertinent issues that are affecting our voters, and make sure that we debate, and after we debate, we actually conclude that matter the right way. I think, to me, and to my understanding, and to my experience within the many years I've been in Parliament now, any matter that concerns Wanjiko, once it is presented on the floor of the House, we always get a solution. A good example, the Speaker rules. Sometimes he rules immediately that this matter must be deliberated on and a solution given in a period of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month. And the fact that the Speaker gives timelines gives us an opportunity for us to be able to score and get the result, the solutions of the matters that we are looking for. So I don't want to agree with you that some matters die once they come to the floor of the House. Of course, there are some that just die based on how vigorant or how aggressive is the committee. Because there are some committees that are very aggressive. There are committees that are a bit dormant. There are committees that don't do any investigative role within whatever they are handling.
Yeah.
So some matters will flare up but there are some matters that will just die, and not really dying, go quiet when you need a voice to amplify an issue so that the relevant stakeholders who are supposed to action on such matters are given some impetus. For example, the issue of dubious fertilizer. The stakeholders that are supposed to take up the matter are on their toes. If we never spoke as team ground, if we never amplified the voice of the voiceless, the many farmers that had bought a fertilizer and quietly, saw what was happening and decided to keep quiet because, of course, they were fearing, some of them were not sure. If we never brought that matter out, I'm sure probably maybe we will not be dissecting what we are dissecting today. So I think Team Ground has a reason to just amplify voices. Since those issues are brought to the floor of the House, it is the honors of the members of Parliament to come up with a solution.
Yes.
For me, I'm expecting that tomorrow we may not even be able to start off parliamentary business before we sort out issues of doctor strike. I mean, if there are sober members of Parliament in this country who represent people who are going through agony in our public health sector, then we must stop every other business and make sure that we debate matters, doctor strike, and come up with a solution. If there is no sufficient budget, it is time for us to allocate monies, isn't it?
Yep.
So that is why we are making noise, so that this issue is not wished away. Because there are people who have the tendency of, just wishing away matters because it is Wamuchomba who is raising the matter, or it is because it is those doctors who have no voice and have no access to the powers that may be. So that is why we are actually picking up these voices and amplifying the voices, because our work is to actually represent, and that is one of our that is one of our role of a member of Parliament, to represent, to take over the mumbles of the mamas of the community and amplify if there are issues that really affect their livelihoods.
Yes.